All right, we are live. Welcome to the Side Action, episode 10 of season 6. My name is Jim Weglars, aka Wegs. You can follow me at Wegs on Twitter and on Instagram.
And I'm Coop. You can check me out on Instagram at Dalton Cooper, on Twitter at Mr. Grumpy Gills. Again, we are the Side Action Podcast. We are back in the, I always forget, this is not the Ridge, this is the Edgewater Studios. There we go. See, I'm getting there. See, next week we'll have it, we'll have it down pat.
Well,
but
we'll talk about next week.
We're back. But we are back live in studio. So
we're here. We're here in the Edgewater studio again. So thanks for coming. You're wearing the Finns hat. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah.
It's a big game this week.
The weather's changing.
We are trying to see if this live chat function works. I have the speculation it doesn't actually go up till we're done, but some people said it is live streaming. We haven't gotten any comments. They're available. So log in and join the chat with us and see what happens. I'm going to try to monitor and keep the thing going.
It works. Looks like somebody just did Luke's.
Oh my God. We're live, baby.
Yeah,
we heard you. We heard you, Luke. You're on there. Give us a question, man. Nice work. It works.
That's so funny.
This is awesome. So, hey, live, whatever the hell we call it, podcast. Look, he just gave us the two hands.
That's awesome.
High hands. There we go. Thanks, Luke. Looks like a set.
Yeah, we hope you feel better.
Yeah, we hope you feel better. You feeling better, Luke? You ready to roll the boats tonight?
He got too hot from the Jets. That's what happened. The Jets, man, he got sick from them.
He got so excited from the Jets come back. So, well, anyway, so last weekend, obviously, we had Halloween weekend. I don't know how it turned out. We saw your costume. I was John Wick. If you saw me on social media, you saw some people thought I was wearing blackface. I am not that kind of guy. I was not Snoop Dogg, as some people had asked. I was John Wick. Maybe it was a little too dark on the beard. I'm not sure. But I made my own wig. I was going to wear it, but it's, Halloween's over. So it's over there in the corner. Probably should be thrown out.
Yeah, no, the wig was nice. It was a nice touch, and I'll leave it at that. So.
And then Foreshadows on Sunday, you and I were there, and obviously we saw Luke, and he got his Jets. What was that, 8-1? It was 8-1.
Yeah, plus 800, yeah. So
we'll talk about that. I actually didn't make the write-ups. I was talking about, it was a big comeback. It was basically, they're just talking about it on one of the podcasts I've listened to. I didn't realize that Saquon Barkley had the opportunity to get a first down and slide when they had their last possession. Instead, he slid at the 8 after gaining 8 yards to kill the clock. Get the first down, Saquon. What are you doing?
I mean, he still missed like a 38-yard field goal. So
they had a chance.
And everything that was at Murphy's Law, everything that can go wrong will go wrong, and sure enough, Luke took advantage.
Congratulations, Jets. Congratulations, Luke. Get something. And then you also went to Hag's party, and I heard there was some rolling of some bones, and he's got a little table in the basement.
Yeah, actually, I think he had it in his kitchen. They're doing the stairs.
In his kitchen. Perfect.
No, I mean, it looks awesome. I mean, it's definitely coming along. So
all I heard was 3 people rolled for like 2 hours straight.
Yeah, if Hag really had a bankroll, he wouldn't have had one the rest of the night. That's for sure. So. Now, hopefully, we can repeat that this weekend. We can keep the hot streak going. We don't want to talk about it too much. It's kind of like a no-hitter. You kind of leave it alone when you're. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. So, I'm not going to talk about me getting my fleece tomorrow at Rivers.
Ever again.
Luke, where are you? You better get healthy because I'm going to be. Anyway, how was the bowling league?
We swept the first place team. Yeah, so the boys stay hot.
Even with the handicaps, we talked about that.
Yeah, they didn't even show up though. That was kind of the crappy part. So they pre-bowled. So I think they were scared. Yeah. So they must have came in and bowled together as a team. So like we bowl on Tuesday nights, right? Okay. I guess like the live time is what we're
so like the live podcast.
Right. So I guess the excuse was they were going to a Halloween party on actual Tuesday night, so they couldn't show up to league. So they didn't show up. They pre-bowled. So we saw their scores. We kind of knew what we needed to do.
You crushed them.
We did. Yeah, Jordan bowled well. I had the high series of the year so far. Shot 660. So
wow.
I had a 230 the first game, and then I had a 248 the last game.
Cow, nice work.
Yeah. Oh, we had mystery game. That was the cool part too. That's so everybody throws in $3 after the first 2 games. Okay. They draw a number between 0 and 300, right? Because those are the numbers that you can bowl. And then whatever that number is, if you bowled it your first or second game, you get all the money. So, and the ironic thing was I kind of manifested it. So right before he's like, you can hear him reaching into the chips, for the whatever to pull the number out. And I was like, say 230. And he's like 230. And then it was awesome. So $150.
Yes.
Yeah. So they're going to Vegas already.
Yeah, with a little cash.
A little cash.
Cheddar cheese.
This roll is going to be for the Tuesday Night Magic League. So
now you got plenty of money to play with.
Yeah. So hopefully that goes well, and that was so far. Hopefully,
it's a hell of a week.
Like I said, it's been a good week so far. The weather is the only crappy part, honestly.
Yeah, well,
It was snowing on Tuesday. I don't know if you forgot.
I don't know if people know. We're Chicago, Edgewater Studio. We know what we're doing. It snowed on Halloween, and it was also pretty damn cold yesterday. So it's been 30 degrees or so when we wake up in the morning, maybe 20, 28 degrees, and a high of like 37. Today's a balmy 40, I believe.
Yeah, it's a heat wave today.
Yeah, so it's a little unseasonably cold. We had a pretty good run. I went to a farmer's market on Saturday before all the festivities. Had a date actually.
Nice.
Met Luke out there and Jane. They were giving me the tie over here. I still got to bring it back, Luke. Sorry about that. But the girl wasn't ready. She didn't have a jacket on. It was like 42 degrees out there. I'm like, do you need this jacket of mine?
Hoodie or nothing? Just a t-shirt?
She had like a sweater.
Oh, okay.
But it wasn't.
Yeah,
it was like an ornate sweater.
Not a dense sweater. Yeah.
She's from South Africa. She was not ready for this.
Gotcha. Oh, it gets cold down there. They got some good golfers that come out of South Africa, by the way.
First I did Retief Goosen.
Yeah.
That's the first one that came to mind.
Oh, Ernie Els also.
Oh, Ernie, the big Ernie. Big Easy. All right, here we go. Let's get into some more stuff. How about to the shed? I'm going to let you go first since I always go first and I'm my one person. You've got 16 people, so
actually, I limited it this week. So,
you did?
We'll get into. I think the club dub was probably where I went more excessive this week.
You're usually more of a positive.
The shed, I did come across Twitter. I have a bed bug update from a couple weeks ago for the France infestation.
Oh, great. Well, I'm not going to be in France. I'll be in Belgium.
I stumbled upon a rabbit hole to where there was a thread, kind of like Reddit, but the French version. That there was a guy that was posting. Reddit? I have no idea, maybe. But there was a guy that had claimed that he was. I don't know, breeding bed bugs, and that he hated France, and that he was gonna actually was going to release these into the wild. He was actually showing videos of him, like, spreading them on like the public transportation and stuff like that. So this guy's an asshole.
Yeah, that guy.
This thing is real.
Criminal.
This guy. What was it? Biochemical warfare is what they're like. Terrorism is what they were saying.
Warfare,
we're taking that guy to the shed.
Yeah, He's that guy. What's his name?
We're gonna find out.
Joe Bedbug.
Yeah.
Got it.
Men in Black. I was hoping for a Men in Black.
I don't like
reference.
that. Bed bugs don't really need assistance.
No.
There's
really no purpose for them, honestly.
Yeah,
I can't find a reason for them. But anyway, that was just something I stumbled upon. And then obviously we're going to take Josh McDaniel to the shed. As you know, he got fired. What was it, Tuesday night?
He got fired. It was Tuesday night. It was after the trade deadline. It was Tuesday night.
Tuesday night. So he got fired a year and a half into a 6-year deal.
Really hard to do.
That's pretty. Yeah, it's pretty cool to get paid not work.
Well, they're paying both Gruden and McDaniels now, the Raiders.
Now that I think about it, maybe he should go and club down because he could be like a professional golfer. He could be a professional whatever for the next 4 years.
Yeah, he's like Bobby Bonilla.
But anyway, but he had a 9-16 record with in his tenure. He also sent multiple first and second round picks for Devontae Adams, who he never made happy. The defense has never improved outside of Max Crosby. As a group, it's never been viable.
Not been good.
And then obviously, I don't know if you could say he's made anybody better in the situation. So, and then the other one I stumbled upon today.
Got the GM fired too, by the way.
Yeah, the GM fired. But you can argue that he did an okay job, maybe. I mean,
he's only been in there for a year and a half.
Yeah.
No, he didn't find Max Crosby. That's
what he was there before. That's right.
But my point is, this guy got 2 drafts under his belt. What do they got to see? Yeah. Nothing. I mean, crazy. Anyway.
I was going to say, we'll get into that later, I'm sure. But Mayor Adams in New York, I don't know if you saw this or not, but the FBI raided his home because I guess there was an allegation that there was random people in his camp going around raising donation limits and using straw donors. So people would give money and then, which is illegal, and then those contributions were matched by the city. So, and the crazy thing is, which I learned going through this was I figured it was just dollar for dollar, but it's not that way at all. So actually comes out to like a $250 donation is actually matched by $2,000 by the city. So
8 times. That's like what Luke hit on the Jets.
Right. Yeah. Right. So he's getting taken to the shed.
Yeah.
Major allegations. And of course, everybody's always denying, but there's multiple people in court, and it should be kind of spicy. Like I wanted to throw in like some maybe feelers that we can bring up in later weeks.
Yeah. Maybe I can create that kind of GoFundMe.
Yeah. I was trying to add to the Wegs pool, make it a little deeper.
Real deep, too deep. So I get to do it's a little. I feel like mine's crappy compared to yours. Those are good shed guys. My shed guy is Arthur Smith. He's the coach of Atlanta. In this case, I don't understand why it took him so long to switch to Taylor Heineke, but he did. I mean, obviously, our guy Desmond Ridder fumbled again in the first half. They were trailing big to the mighty Will Levis Tennessee Titans. And we'll talk about that later too. But in the end, he put in Heineke, and he was moving the ball like at will. And he obviously used to start for Washington, so he has experience. But he's got a little spark plug. He's going to start this week. Look, man, Arthur Smith, why were you holding on so dear for Desmond Ridder? I mean, what the hell? You could have been 6-2 or something by now. But anyway, they'll go 4-4, and we'll see what happens. So you, sir, are in the shed with the bedbug man.
Yeah, and he knew he had young Wei Koo. That's why he knew he didn't go to Heineke so fast, because he knew he had.
We can outkick anybody except for the Titans.
We're a field goal in the death, as Callie would say.
That's right. All right, I will go first on Club Dub. You know, I only let one in at a time. It's a red rope situation for me. They got to enter a certain way. They have to pass some tests. It's Joe Burrow. It's my guy, Joe Burrow, man. In his first 19 passes to start the game. Was that right? Or maybe it's 20. 19 in a row on this road win against San Francisco. A lot of hype for this game. We were there, obviously, cheering on the Bengals. I don't know if anybody was cheering with us. We were screaming as the Bengals were doing great things. But he was 28 for 32 in the game. He played so great. He's gotten a lot of, obviously pushback on his calf, where he should play, where he shouldn't play. He looked healthy. He looked great. He was on time every time, throwing great balls all over the yard. Joe Burrow, you are in Club Dub.
Do we think that Jamar Chase is a fortune teller? Because he said before Joe, he's like, hey, we just take the first 5 games off, and then here we are. He could have probably taken the first 5 games off, and they may have been in a better situation, honestly. Especially that first and second game. But I digress. The first person, obviously, we're going to put Corey Seager in Club Dub.
Yep.
He's the first. Awesome. Yeah, we didn't even get to talk about one little bit of the World Series.
Well, we got a section.
We'll get there. Yeah, right. But we didn't get to get in that Game 7. But anyway, Corey Seager is the first shortstop in the World Series history to hit 3 home runs in the span of the World Series.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he did not hit another one last night, but he did drive in 2 runs.
No, he was great, though. Yeah.
He's the second shortstop in, I guess, the history of baseball to win MVP of the World Series.
Okay. Was it first,
No, I don't. I didn't look it up.
Stats department.
Yeah, we'll get on that. And I'd also, he was like one of 5 or 6 people to win multiple World Series MVPs with different teams.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Joined Randy Jackson, I think, or Reggie Jackson. Reggie Jackson, listen to me.
Reggie
Jackson. So that's pretty cool. The Spurs, I don't know if you saw them. I'm going to put them in Club Dub.
Came back.
They had that nice little comeback against Phoenix. They were down 20. That was Tuesday night. Victor Wembanyama, he looks like an alien on the court. And
Did you see him walking in his costume, Slender Man?
Yeah, that was creepy. Pretty legit. It'd be terrifying. I would love to go see him in person. Go see him when he comes to Chicago. But and the last person, I like this little spicy take they came up with too. So Tom Brady is the last person we're going to put in Club Dub this week, especially with the firing of Josh McDaniel. I think it only strengthens this side of the take. So
that's hilarious.
Obviously, with the struggles of Josh McDaniel and Tom Brady, not Tom Brady, but Bill Belichick recently, I think it just even more, cements the legacy of Tom Brady and how actually great he was, playing the position and making the team better. So we're going to put him in Club Dub. It's been a good week for Tom Brady. So
yeah, that's awesome.
Heck yeah.
I can't find it. I'm sorry. I tried to find it.
No, that's okay.
That's okay.
We'll get the stats department.
No, that's a good one. I mean, Brady obviously looks like he was the best complement or best component of that entire system, obviously.
He's winning the quote-unquote divorce.
He is, absolutely. So let's talk about college football. You're still doing pretty well. I mean, a couple setbacks lately, but talk about the big games this week.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We got a couple in the Big 12. The first one's obviously Kansas State at Texas.
Mm-hmm.
We have Texas A&M at Ole Miss. Ole Miss, I think, is number 10. I was going to put the rankings on here, and I totally forgot.
Okay, so, next time.
Notre Dame is going to Clemson. The CFP came out this week as well.
Yeah, they did.
Missouri is going to Georgia. Oklahoma is going to Oklahoma State.
That's a big one.
It's too bad it's not a night game. It's at 2:30 in the afternoon. What? Yeah, I know. Isn't that garbage? But
Stillwater, let's go.
Yeah, the sky is no blacker on earth than Stillwater at night. So
that's true.
It's a home advantage. And then we have Washington at USC.
Huge game.
That's going to be a big game. I think this might be
I think the total on that's over 70.
Yeah, it's going to be, I think, Legacy Game 2.0. Mm-hmm. So we'll get into that in just a second. And then we have LSU at Alabama. Yeah. Probably beginning of the year, we thought this might be like, I don't know, game of the century, 3.0 now.
Yeah,
but
still a good game.
Could be a good game. And then Oregon State at Colorado. Obviously, we are still a primetime podcast, so we'll throw them in the mix. But Oregon State is, still frisky. They're still, I think, 15th. So
they're still solid. They're still solid, and obviously, Prime and at home and all that. They've been struggling a little bit, but they still exceeded their win total.
Sunglasses sales are through the roof.
I saw a couple of, let's face it, a couple of cute baby costumes were dressed, kids dressed up as Prime.
That's awesome.
So you're sitting at 14-3-1 with these picks so far this year, still making a ton of money. Lost out in Oregon. Won with Oregon. Lost out on James Madison.
Yeah.
So this week, what do we got here? Oh, wait a minute. We got Art Murphy in the chat.
Yeah,
we got Art Murphy. Fins up. Look at him. He's putting the fin up.
Yeah, we'll get there.
So what do we got? What are your picks this week?
No, absolutely. This is actually, I think, Art's favorite time when we were talking.
Yeah.
He's like, he's big on
He only bets
so.
college now.
So we're going to ride with USC.
Okay.
They're getting 3 at home.
This is a dog. I want you to know this is an underdog.
We're going 2 dogs this
What?
week. I know. I almost felt sick when I was doing it. Yeah, I was waiting for your reaction. I know, right? I was waiting for your reaction. So
good.
We're going with USC this week. I don't think anybody really expects them to win, I would think.
USC?
Yeah.
There's a lot of injuries on Washington's part.
I think the shootout game favors USC,
okay.
And they're at home, so I like them. I think Washington, though they're good, I don't think they're the best team in the Pac-12. Unfortunately, I think that's Oregon. So
agreed.
And then we're gonna ride with Oklahoma State at home versus Oklahoma. I think Oklahoma's been really flirting with danger the last couple of weeks, and I think Oklahoma State can still get to it. We can still have an Oklahoma State and Iowa State Big 12 championship game.
Is that what we're looking for?
No, that's not what we're looking for. We'd love to see maybe Texas or Oklahoma in there, but we'll see. But I think Oklahoma State pulls the upset here. So
that's great. I mean, I know that they haven't done well against Oklahoma in the past. Like in this big game, they haven't won these big games, Gundy anyway. But like you said, Oklahoma kind of was reading their own press clippings for a little bit, and Kansas,
Yeah, and I can't remember who Kansas is playing, but I remember looking at it. I would take whoever Kansas is playing against.
Letdown spot.
Oh, yeah, big time. Absolutely. This is probably the biggest.
So 2 dogs this week, +3 and +6. Look at you. You're doing something.
Playing this week. Now the stats department's go.
That's okay. You look on the stats department. So, and gentlemen on the chat, feel free to send us some questions. We appreciate you testing the chat, but we're here to discuss. It's an interactive process here. Do like the dolphin emoji. Anyway, let's go to the World Series here. What can be said?
Iowa State.
Iowa State?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Well, they're good. So it's one of these situations where I thought it was going to be a really good series, and maybe it was. I mean, think about baseball and softball the same way. Game over game, it's not like it's like basketball where you figure out matchups. There's more pitching matchups and hitting and hot hitting. In this case, the first game was epic. I ended up staying here when I was making the damn wig for 3.5 hours, watching this 11-inning thriller that ended up in a walk-off home run, which was awesome. And then the second one, D-backs just crushed them. What can be said? The Rangers, they're not good at home for some reason. No. They lost 9-1, and then they flip right back and they're road warriors again. And this team just cannot lose. They didn't lose on the road in the playoffs.
No,
they were 10-0.
Yeah.
It's never going to happen again. I mean, really, not going to win. But they ended up winning 3-1. Was kind of they had 1 inning where they scored, the pitcher's duel, and then they kind of jumped all over them in game 4. And last night it was 1-0 till deep in the game. I thought, okay, here's a chance for the D-backs to do it. Negative. 4 runs in the 9th, was it that they scored or was the 8th? They got up.
I think it was the 8th. Yeah, he had that error in the 8th that put him up 3-0, and then it was kind of over from there. So Simeon hits a 2-run homer, I think, and puts her to bed.
I guess we probably should have put the Rangers in the Dub Club, even though this is their first World Series.
Yeah, first World Series in franchise history. So shout out to them. I mean, we had Corey Seager in there. So
Bruce Bochy too. We talked about him last week.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, I think I was reading he's won 14 out of 15 postseason series, and the only one he lost was the Cubs when the Cubs won the World Series
that
year.
Right?
Yeah, I think that's what I was reading on Twitter. So obviously you can feel free to fact check me, but I think it's
that must have been an early season. It was the Giants then, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It must have been like a first round or something like that.
It had to be an odd year because it's even years they owned them. So
they did. Interesting. Well, anyway. All right, let's get in the NFL. We got week 8 here. Recap. So it was pretty close on the home road splits. Home teams won 9-7. But the spreads of the favorites, they took care of business, dude. 9-5-2. They're starting to flip back a little bit, which is your side of the fence, but you're kind of coming on my side of the fence. You got to pick the right ones. But totals were dead split, 8-8. Was actually really close to all back and forth, and now it's split down the middle, 8-8. And the spread though did matter this week. It was a weird week. 3 of those favorites did not cover 100%, right? So Kind of interesting. 3 favorites won the game and didn't cover, which is pretty rare. That's a pretty high percentage, 19%. Whereas for the year, it's like 11.5%. Now I'm going to get a little excited here, Coop. Ashley and I have been on fire in these picks, dude. We had 4-1 last week. We were really close to going 5-0. That stupid Ravens game, and I actually left the bar thinking that they had covered it. Yeah, and then they.
The same thing. I got home and I saw that it was set. I was like, oh my god.
Well, what the hell? Then they actually got the game up, whatever, up by 16 or something. Then they stopped the 2-point conversion, so they're up 10. But they didn't. Well, we'll talk about it in a minute, I guess. Sorry to get into all the details already, but in the end, like a friggin' onside kick cost us that one. Yeah. But we're now to 70%. 70%. It seems weird, but this quarter we went 70% so far. We have one more week in the quarter. 14-6 overall. We're 62.5%. We're only 1.5 picks off the money.
Oh man!
Yeah, we're 250, 247th right now. You have to be in the top 100 to be in the money. So, and not to say that we can come back and go all the way, but we are only 5 picks back from the leader. So not too shabby. I mean, let's just keep it going. Let's not talk too much about it, like you said, and plow forward. But one more week in this quarter, and then the next one's a 4-week quarter.
All you can ask for is to be in the hunt there at the end,
Absolutely. This is the best we've done it at any stage, basically, besides like week 1 of any season.
Nice. It's kind of ironic that I'm here and all of a
sudden.
I know. Yeah, it's good vibes. Let's keep the good vibes.
Let's keep the good vibes.
We gotta tell.
I know, action. We're trying to get them on the podcast once in a while. All right, so the picks we had finally were Carolina plus the 3. That was a good pick. Obviously, it wasn't the right side the whole way. It was kind of this low-scoring game between Houston and Carolina. They've got, Thomas Brown was supposed to help the offense in Carolina. Well, settled for a lot of field goals, and in the end, they needed like a 6-minute field goal drive to win this game outright. And they did win 15-13 in this one, but I don't know. It was still. It looked like it was in the bag. It just when it was 13-12, and you're thinking, is there a pick 6? They did cover the game for us, so we got that one. Dallas was a no-brainer. They're unbelievable in Jerry World. They won 34-20. Is that right? Yeah, they were up huge in this game early. I think it's 43-20. By the way, that's missed. Stats department screwed up again.
No, the stats department. Didn't Carolina play Houston last week too?
Yeah, what did I say?
Yeah, you had Green Bay in there.
Well, no, I put it was supposed to be field goal. I honestly mistyped it.
Gotcha.
Somebody who's got to fire the guy putting this together.
That
guy. But yeah, Dallas covered the 6.5 easily in that one. And then we talked about the San Francisco-Cincinnati game. Cincinnati was the right side the whole way. Joe Burrow was amazing, and they scored a lot. Brock Purdy miraculously got cleared from the concussion protocol, and now they're saying, well, maybe he shouldn't have been cleared. Screw it. You got to figure out one way or another. They just weren't good enough, and they won 31-17.
I wish we would have seen Sam Darnold. That'd have been nice.
Would have been nice to see him. I mean, redheads, gingers.
Is it that kind? Is it retrograde or something? Is it that time? I have no idea. That's
you can trust gingers. Look at Andy Dalton. He's been amazing.
Yeah, amazing. Good mentor, that Andy Dalton.
So these last 2 games, we talked about the Baltimore game, which again, they were favored by 9.5 in the contest, ended up winning the game 31-24, but they were covering most of that game, except a lot of things had to happen for them not to cover. But Seattle, we ended up taking your side in Seattle with 3.5. That was a sweat. They were down. They scored the first 17 points of the game, right? And you guys were thinking about buying back on Cleveland in that one and didn't. But Cleveland roared back, took the lead, had the lead most of the second half, or at least was dominating the second half in Seattle. One drive, one turnover, one drive, and Geno took him down the field for the touchdown to our guy, Jackson Smith and Jigba. I think we talked about him last week.
Yeah. He
gets the touchdown, and then they do cover, but the closing line was 4. So if you had it outside the contest, you probably pushed like I did. 3.5, they did cover that one. So those 2. Probably, one of them shouldn't have gone out that way, and one of them did. So 4-1 is probably a lucky go.
What do you think about buying in on Jackson Smith and Jigba Rookie of the Year?
Wow, that's a big, bold move.
Do you think? I mean, Tyler Lockett's getting phased out and snap percentages and stuff.
I totally like it. But you think he can jump up Puka, and you got the Will Levis in the mix now?
Will Levis had 1 game.
What about AOC? I heard he's going to start a lot more.
Yeah, CJ Stroud even. I wonder what the odds are, but you go ahead. Continue. It was just something I was thinking.
So in your Beaver Nation picks, I don't know if you stuck with these. Did you?
I did.
You did? Okay. 16-8-1. A little bit better this week. Did you take Tennessee?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the Fighting Vrabels?
Yeah.
And I did reverse myself, as I said in the pod, which is stupid. I just follow what I said on the pod, follow what I said in the article, and I'll be good. So Vrabel does it again. He puts in Will Levis on cue, by the way. throws 4 touchdown passes in his first career start, 0 interceptions, and most of them were deep throws, which was nice to see. He hit Hopkins is happy he didn't get traded, so they didn't even sell anybody. Derrick Henry stayed and everything in that one, so they won outright in that game. I didn't put the score, but they did win that game, 28-23, I think. And then the Vikings, man, this was a great pick. I don't know if you were on that. I was definitely on the Vikings. Poor Kirk Cousins tore his Achilles, but despite that, they won 24-10. Really was not even a factor. The one that I didn't end up winning in my pool and didn't go with was the stupid Kenny Pickett can't do shit. So the Jags still alive though, 6-2 now on their bye. They won 20-10 at Pittsburgh, looking pretty good in that one. Mitch Trubisky had a little bit of spice, but I think he had one touchdown pass and then 2 interceptions. So what are you gonna do?
What rookie quarterback do you think would look the best in green and yellow next year? Like if you were the Packers, what rookie quarterback do you think? You mean
like Caleb Williams or May or who are other options?
I mean, they're probably no. You don't like Drake May?
He's like North Carolina guy, bro.
I mean, Sam Howell's a North Carolina guy.
Has he been playing good?
I mean, you could argue he's been playing well.
Yeah, no, he's good.
Yeah, you could argue that his offensive line isn't very good though either.
Yeah, that's true.
So I mean, I feel like the place where you come. I mean, I feel like you're a little biased of where people are coming from. Like
I am with Trubisky, no question. Okay. Admittedly, I haven't seen May play a lot. I've seen Williams play. He looks great, but he's obviously an attitude issue, so I wouldn't want him there. I don't know if there's going to be some guy from like South Dakota State or something like that. You know, the next. Well, I mean, look at Josh Allen, Wyoming guy. Yeah. You know, I mean, these are guys. They're not all from big programs. I mean, even if you think about Mahomes, Texas Tech, they're open offense, but nobody's talking about him as the number 1 pick. So
no, that's fair. Well, about number 1. Oh, the Packers are going to have the number 1 pick. To your point,
no,
so
it's going to be the Bears again.
Just thinking, I think it'd be cool for them to draft a quarterback. Which one would look cool? The visor would look sweet if they found a way to get Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, I see.
Well, there's Packers 10 digits that way he can paint on his fingernails. But we'll get anyway.
I forgot the Detroit game, which I think you were on this one. Detroit, they were 8.5-point favorites at home. They did cover and obviously ended the Josh McDaniels era. This game was interesting. Yeah, the Raiders kept it close somehow because the Lions kept turning the ball over in the red zone and then kind of kicking a bunch of field goals. They won 26-14 in this one, and they had 466 total yards, 157. Yeah. But Gibbs looked good. We finally got the Jahmyr Gibbs game.
Yeah, I called. Yeah, the Jahmyr. I told you not to sell your Jahmyr Gibbs stock. It was coming. He is he's third. He is third in offensive rookie of the year odds right now. He's plus 1,200. By the way, the odds on favorite is C.J. Stroud at minus 175, and then Puka is plus 300. Mm-hmm. You have Bijan Robinson at plus 1,300, Jordan Addison at plus 1,600. So. Jackson Smith and Jiglis plus 3,500. He's just below. He's sandwiched in between Will Levis, Zay Flowers, and Samuel Porta.
Interesting. So I like Sammy too. Okay, this just in. We're doing live chat. This is look at this from Art. This is Primetime Murphy giving us no questions. He says, but thanks for increasing my bankroll for horse players. If you like the ponies, you have to put some ponies in there. Saturday, 8th race. At the Longines, I don't know if it's in that Longines Breeders' Cup, the turf. He likes the number 5 horse, Auguste Rodin. That's also a sculptor, by the way, to win. And then he says, what does it say now? He's won 4 of 6 of 8 races
in Leopardstown.
So there you go, Auguste Rodin, the number 5 horse in the 8th race of the Breeders' Cup. Thank you, Prime. You're the guy. Yeah. We finally got a horse pick out of you. I've been talking to you for 6 years, but thank you for doing it. Luke, if you want to give us a horse play or something else, or volleyball play, that's fine.
The AVP, the Milwaukee Cement Chicago Open. Yeah.
That's right. Let's go into the Week 9 preview. There's a lot of storylines here. We already mentioned Kirk Cousins being out for the year. Jaron Hall is the starter now. I guess he's a running QB, more or less. Giants, Tyrod Taylor got hurt in that game. They put Tommy DeVito, not Danny DeVito's nephew, another guy. But I heard Daniel Jones is going to start this week.
The pride of Illinois.
He was the pride of Illinois. Now he's gone. But Darren Waller is his hamstring. Looks like he's out for this one. It says questionable. We know he's not playing.
Well, I said long term when I was reading about it today. They were looking a couple.
I love it's like questionable long term, but it's doubtful. The Rams, Matthew Stafford is also out. I put everything. His whole body is hurt. He needs a whole week off. Brett Rippon is in.
Yeah.
From Boise State.
Yeah. Ding, ding,
Hey,
ding. Yeah, nice job.
I
There
know
we
a few of
go.
these things. No, I checked the.
Good for you. Look at you.
And then the Falcons, Desmond Ridder, we mentioned out. They said he had a concussion. We know he just got benched for Tyler Heineke. Steelers tonight, they are going to play Kenny Pickett despite his ribs, which is questionable. But Minka Fitzpatrick is out with a hamstring injury. He's going to be out for a few weeks, which is bad.
Yeah, he was face down last time we saw him. Oof. Tough luck.
Tough. Patriots, Kendrick Bourne, probably their best receiver, right? He's out for the season. He tore his ACL this against the Dolphins. You got Texans, Jarrett Patterson, ankle. He's doubtful for the
sideline ball boy is the best receiver on the Patriots. What do you mean? Because
looking.
Yeah, I was going to say the second best receiver probably, but the first was definitely the sideline ball boy or whatever closest coach is on that sideline and the 8-yard out route area.
Agreed.
Anyway, sorry,
it's all good. It's all good. The Jets, I mentioned Jared Patterson for the Texans at the center is all doubtful for this week. Offensive tackle Connor McGovern for the Jets, his knee. He's out in IR as well. So a lot of injuries. You got to check these things for the trades. So here we got some big trades, dude. First of all, Seattle got Leonard Williams, from the Giants. So Giants were sellers. Seattle is still in the mix. They're actually, as you mentioned, good call. They're in first place right now in the NFC West. Maybe we can get that ticket cashed. They got to restructure that deal. He's going to make some good cash.
Yeah, and I think it's good long term. They they needed support in stopping the run. They're a really good defense. They move really quick laterally. They're young and quick in that fashion, but they definitely needed that help run stopping, and he's obviously going to provide it.
Right. Here we go. Chase Young is going to San Francisco from Washington. They got a 3rd round pick for him, so that's pretty good actually. Since he was the 2nd pick in the draft. I'm pretty down on Chase Young. You do look at the names that they have on the front line. We'll see if he matters. He likes to just rush up the field. Maybe he's going to get single coverage now that Bosa's on the other side. Maybe it's going to work out. But hey, for them, they got a 3rd round pick from other trade that they have, so it's no big deal. The other one, Montez Sweat for the Bears, I was pretty excited about it initially, but them paying a 2nd round pick and that they're going to have to pay this dude when he was just going to be a free agent anyway, doesn't feel so good, especially not in contention. But I think he's a good player, and I do think he's better than Young.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I like the Chase Young acquisition too. If you think about it, they got Trent Williams and Chase Young from the Commanders for 2 3rd-rounders and a 7th-round pick. So they've been pretty good. And if you look at the San Francisco's D-line this year, outside of Bosa, who has 24 pressures, no one on the defensive line has more than 9. So you're going to get a lot of one-on-ones already. So Chase Young, obviously, I don't think he could do any worse than what they're doing already. So it's definitely going to help for nothing. And like you said, Montez Sweat, I don't hate it just because – you're probably going to trade a second, like you said, a 2nd round pick. It's somewhere probably in the early 30s or late 30s.
Yeah, maybe early 30s.
But I don't know if you can find a pass rusher that's going to be as good as Montez Sweat is. So I don't hate it. You can definitely build around him. You can pay him whatever money or whatever.
Right, they could franchise him for.
I don't mind the move. Obviously, everybody's kind of like, oh, why are we doing this? Obviously, it's going to take more than one player for the Bears to get better. But obviously, I don't hate adding good players anyway.
Yeah, so. I was surprised San Francisco didn't get a cornerback because I think their corners are a little suspect, especially, Ward was okay, but he got kind of smoked the other day with Chase, but then they really need more depth at cornerback.
No, they're doing it the old-fashioned way. They're going to create more pressure. They have no problems in the secondary. If they had more pressure, you wouldn't. So
yeah, that's what they say.
They're doing addition by subtraction, and I guess to answer your theory.
I know. That's the way that they addressed it. No, I agree with you. They addressed it that way. I think it might come back to bite them, but then we've got Josh Dobbs went from Arizona to Minnesota. He's not going to start this week, but he likely will next week because he's obviously a capable starter. Poor guy has been on like 3 teams in less than 4 months because he was actually on Cleveland's team, right? Is it Cleveland that traded him to Arizona?
Yeah, at the end of last year, excuse me.
Yeah, he was Tennessee last year. Then he went to Cleveland, Arizona. So he's the, roaming around guy.
I think this might be the best team he's been on, though, arguably.
Yeah, they actually can still make the playoffs, so they're not giving up, which is a little surprising. And then you've got Buffalo picked up Rasul Douglas, the cornerback from Green Bay. They definitely needed this. I don't think it changes the whole balance of it, but I guess they're thinking if they can get a little healthier on the front line, maybe they can play a little better as well.
I think that's the sneakiest move that was made that could make the biggest impact for sure.
Mm-hmm. And then we already mentioned Josh McDaniels out, but also the GM. And then did you see who the coach is? Antonio Pierce.
Yeah, it's time to play everybody's favorite game. Name that intern.
I mean, look, I think he's a great guy. He's only been actually coaching for a year and a half. So it's kind of not quite like a Jeff Saturday situation, but we'll talk about their pick later. But, we're talking about the dead cat bounce. I'll explain that in a minute.
Yeah, that's great to say.
What the hell does that mean, Max? So let's go over the lines. Tonight we've got Tennessee at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's a 3-point favorite, 36.5-point total. It's going to be Pickett versus Levis here. I don't know. What I would say about this game, even though it's not going to be in the top 5 picks and all that, is that 3 points is a lot for Pittsburgh because they don't score a lot. But I just naturally would expect Levis to have a tougher game this week against the Pittsburgh line. They're obviously going to rush him. They're going to hit him a lot better than Atlanta did. So I probably would lay the points here. If it slips to 2.5 pregame, I would definitely take it. I'm not going to bet it necessarily, but I would go on the Pittsburgh side in this game.
Yeah, this is a tough one. The only thing I feel good about is maybe taking the under. I feel like this could be a really ugly game. You have 2 young quarterbacks. Kenny Pickett obviously is dealing with rib injuries, so he's probably going to get numbed up before the game. That's probably what he's been looking forward to all week. So I think I just have a hard time going with Tennessee just because I can't see Will Levis having that much success against TJ Watt and not having that defensive line take the game over. So that's the number I really like is the under. Other than the game, I think the number is correct. I could see like 17-14 or even 13-10, even that low. So
yeah, it's currently 37, so you even got that half point on your way. So
yeah,
under would be
I like Westbrook and Kinney for a first touchdown score. By the way.
Okay. Did you put it in?
No, I was looking at odds before I got here. But
okay.
I'm just gonna check after the pod. But yeah,
that's a receiver
for the people. Yeah, for the people out there, for our loyal fans and listeners.
Okay, we got to hit another one. We had one last week. Let's hit this one. Okay, so then there's the game in Frankfurt, Germany, which obviously you're wearing the colors here.
It's gonna be 6:30 a.m. in Vegas, by the way.
That is really that's right. Is it 6:30? Oh my god. Well, I'm sure you'll be up, and I have to update this. So now the line has crept down and opened higher, like 3 points, 2.5.
Yeah.
The Chiefs. Now it's 1.5 points.
Oh yeah.
The Chiefs are the favorite. It's 50.5 is the total, which is about right. Okay, a couple things on this one. Look, the Chiefs, obviously, we didn't even mention this. They got beat last week against the Broncos. A little bit of a shocking result, although the Broncos traditionally play them very well. I don't know how they play good defense.
When they lose 18 in a row?
Well, they lose 18 in a row, but they cover spreads. This one, good God.
That's right. Great team.
They play like shit.
Yeah.
I mean, like the Chiefs didn't do shit. So maybe that's a matchup issue. Normally speaking, in this game, if this was on our soil, I think I probably would go Kansas City. I think their defense is pretty good. But hey, Miami went over there on Tuesday. Kansas City's going over there today. That's been a big angle. The team that's been there the longest has won every single one of these matchups. Yeah. I am sticking with Miami here. I do think they're going to give Kansas City all they can handle. Plus, Tyreek Hill revenge game.
Yeah.
I like a bigger spread, but I'll take 1.5. I think I took Miami on the money line.
I'll take the over for sure.
Okay.
This is gonna be a big over game for me. There's a couple over games that I like this week, and this is one of them as well. Yeah, I'm with you. I like the trend of, you kind of hit on it too, going over there early has been kind of the only trend really with these games.
Right.
And I think just the Nick Bolton, I don't know if he practiced or if he's back in practice.
He's been out.
I think he's obviously the signal caller of the defense when he's in there. And I think it's kind of made a difference. Russell Wilson didn't have any problem moving the ball against them last week.
Yeah, they didn't get a lot of yards. It just Mahomes turned the ball over like 3 times, and that really set up the scores for Denver. But I just think that Miami is going to score. So Kansas City has to score with them. Can they do that?
Yeah.
I'm not feeling like
the lateral speed, I think, is going to give them a lot of trouble. I don't know if Kansas City is necessarily built to handle it. Or I think the zone run game might actually make a difference this week. So we'll definitely see.
And that was another surprising result that Kansas City did not add another receiver in the trade deadline. I'm just, if only they had a guy like Tyreek Hill. Yeah, I mean, they obviously got a great defense this year. So anyway. Okay, so we're both on Miami in that one. So regular games, the noon games will be 10 for you out in the desert. Minnesota at Atlanta. I think Atlanta's actually down to a 4.5 point favorite now, or 4-point favorite in the marketplace. It's 4.5 at circa 37-point total. So this is the Heineke coming out game. He gets to start the game. Jaron Hall's going to get his first start. He's a running quarterback. Action's probably going to disagree with me on this one, but I think that Atlanta's metrics are depressed because of Desmond Ridder. You put in Heineke with those weapons. I definitely like Atlanta in this one. So I'm a little surprised that the market is betting up Minnesota, who's been playing very well, especially defensively. But I don't know, man. You got this Jaron Hall in his first start, and now it's down to 4. I've got to take Atlanta on this one on the favorite.
Yeah, the pride of Old Dominion, right?
There you go.
I'm with Heineke.
I looked it up last week.
Yeah, I'm with you on Heineke. No, I think he's definitely a definitely more capable quarterback. Obviously, he might turn the ball over a little bit more,
Right.
which I think in a different situation would hinder you. But I think like rookie quarterback getting his first start, I think is going to really favor this matchup.
For sure.
I think Atlanta's going to run the ball a little bit better than most defenses or
Right.
most offenses that Vikings have faced this year. Words are hard, sorry. Which I think can help, obviously, Heineke with the play action game. And might have a Drake London sighting this week.
Let's
So
hope.
just, Minnesota's pass defense is garbage. So I think this is a
Well,
good
they
week to hammer the Falcons. I think this is hopefully they don't falcon this one away. So
Look, they do play close games typically, but I think against the blitz, I'm a big proponent of running the football. I mean, you got to hit deep, obviously, against blitz too, but you can run at blitzes and you catch them off guard. Bijan should have some big runs this game if you can catch the seam.
And play action game will be a big, I guess, differentiator in the game.
That's right. Sure. So then we've got Seattle at Baltimore. Seattle traveling all the way east. Always people talk about that. The West Coast team east. This is surged up to 6-point favorite for Baltimore. 44-point total. This is a tough one. This is going to be your favorite. I might have put it in my numbers. Let me just make sure before I say this. Okay, good. It's a Jimmy Wegs stay away spot of the week. Look, 6 points isn't that much for Baltimore to cover. We've seen them cover bigger numbers. Last week was just 6 on the road, but Seattle's not a bad football team, and they're going to get Leonard Williams, so they're going to be able to slow the run down a little bit. I don't think Seattle's necessarily an outright winner here. I think it's a tough spot for them, but I don't know. Baltimore, 6 points. I just can't do it. So I'm staying away from this game.
I hate that number for Baltimore. I love Seattle this week. That's one of my other games. I'm a big Bird fan this week.
Look at this guy. He's going upsets. He's going dogs.
No, I think 6 is a big number. I think Seattle has played really poorly the last 2 weeks. Obviously, they had a 17-0 lead last week, but the last 2 weeks they haven't played very well. And I think they have to start getting the ship right a little bit. I think adding a guy like that to the locker room too could help the morale of the team. Like, all right, we got some dudes. Let's go. Let's get our shit together. Let's go play. So, obviously, I think we were talking about too. The metrics are kind of the same with Geno. Obviously, they haven't scored as many touchdowns, but hopefully that's going to come around a little bit, a little more, development with Jackson Smith and Jigba.
You would hope that he starts using those weapons appropriately, but they did play. I mean, Baltimore's defense is pretty good too, though. Yeah. I mean, they're not as good as Cleveland, but just a step down.
Yeah, absolutely. I could see that as an over game though too. Honestly,
okay.
44. I feel like that smells like a 31-27 game.
31-27. So you like the dog and the over.
Yeah.
Okay. Usually not correlated, but okay.
That's fair. Yeah.
I'm staying away.
I don't know what the weather's like. We didn't get a weather update.
Yeah, where's my weather update?
Yeah, I know. I didn't even think about that.
Meteorologist was off this week.
Weather's not a factor this week. Yeah, they're all playing in domes.
Right. Right. All right, the next game, Rams at Green Bay. This is down to 3 points now. The favorite was up like 3.5. It's kind of bouncing between 3 and 3.5. With Green Bay the favorite at home against the Rams, as we mentioned, Rippon's in for Stafford. You still have Jordan Love. The Jordan Love experiment is still rough.
Gag.
So look, I'll let you give your note, and I'll give you my take.
Well, my note was that Matt Stafford was 3-8. In his record at Green Bay playing in Lambeau, but you're telling me that Brett Rippon's going to play. So.
Yeah, this is the way I thought it was actually related to him being out of the lineup. Here, look, the way I look at it is this way: the Rams are regressing. They were playing better early in the year. Green Bay is playing like shit. Okay, this is 2 bad football teams in my view. I am not going to lay points with a bad football team, so it's Rams or pass for me. But I'm not going to do it with Rippon on the road. No way. So number 2, stay away. Forget it. I'm sure what's going to happen is Ash's going to talk me into this game. Only for the dog action. I am not picking Green Bay.
Yeah, no, I would stay away from this game too. I think Rippon is pretty competent. I think from preseason, I think I've seen him a couple games in the preseason. They came to
He played
Cincinnati.
at Denver. He played a couple games at Denver.
Yeah,
right?
I was at Denver as well. They came to Cincinnati, I think, 2 years ago. I think he played most of that game, so he didn't look terrible. But no, I'm with you. I'm not with Jordan Love. I think the Packers are terrible. They should start tanking and they should get the highest draft pick they possibly can because they're not going to sign a quarterback in free agency. Though there was a nice little take that I heard today that the Packers should sign Kirk Cousins because they're going to get him at a discount.
True.
There's a good offensive line there. It's kind of the Midwestern part of the country. But anyway, so just in case anyone wants to I don't know, back that take, feel free to spread that. I think it's good info. So, but no, I stay away with you here. I don't like anything about this game, to be honest. This is going to be a boring ass game. So
there's not a lot of games I like this week.
There's too much yellow in this game too.
Too much yellow.
There's way too much yellow.
Yellow on yellow. Well, maybe they'll wear the blue uniforms out there sometimes. Or come out with a totally new, like a black uniform for Green Bay. So here we go. Arizona at Cleveland. Cleveland played pretty good defensively, but you've got PJ Walker's going to start again, right?
Oh, yeah.
Now it's 7.5. It's down from 8.5. It kind of floats up and down in this one. 37.5 point total. So Cleveland's favored at home. 37.5 point total. I do think Arizona's in full tank mode. You're starting Clayton Tune. Clayton Tune. You familiar with him?
Yeah, from?
Oh, man, I looked this up. Let me think this through. Clayton Tune is from Houston.
Yeah, there you
go.
Yeah.
Look at that. You can't fool me, buddy. I looked this up this week.
Yeah, you did.
But you're showing Kevin Stefanski is 18-7 following a loss. That's straight up. We don't know against the spread.
No, just following a loss. His career as a Browns head coach, he's 18-7.
Yeah, 7.5 is just a big number for this offense, man. I mean, how can you do it? I can't lay it with Arizona, or take it for Arizona, but Cleveland 7.5 points. They shouldn't be favored that many against anybody with
Think
this
about
offense.
that defense.
I know the defense.
There's
I love them as a dog.
If anybody's going to take a touchdown prop this week at any time, please take the Browns.
Browns
and
defense.
Show it to me on Twitter.
Sure.
Tag me or whatever. I'd love to see it.
What is that Twitter handle again?
At Mr. Grumpy Gills.
Okay.
So yeah, definitely check that out. But I think it's a good idea. I think it's the bet of the weekend, honestly, to take the Browns defense to score anytime touchdown.
Okay.
So I think I love the Browns.
They're going to win like 10-0.
Yeah, 10-0. They could.
It's a cover.
I think the run game is going to take over. I think that's really the big difference in this game is going to be the offensive versus that defensive line play. Both sides of the ball favor the Browns, and I think it's going to be.
I don't disagree. They're a way better team than Arizona. There's no question. Arizona could be like rolling up those guys are like looking at ads for.
The Browns still have something to fight for. They're still in the.
But there's no question.
Hunt,
But this offense sucks. Have we not watched this?
I think you just watched too many Bears games. That's all.
I watched these guys play too.
Yeah, well, they had good offense last week in Seattle. They just had one bad play call that put a guy in a position to throw a pick, and that's a little what
PJ Walker
comes down.
PJ Walker's not good.
Well, they should run the ball and punt. Think about it. As a coach, if you want your best unit on the field, they should
just
definitely
wait till they turn the ball
on.
over. Look, they could win 9-0, and you get this cover. I just for my top 5, I can't make this pick.
Oh, I don't know if I put it in the top 5.
Stomach
but this
return.
Definitely Cleveland.
Watching this game, they get that backdoor field goal to get within the number.
It sounds like you're afraid of the back door. Are you worried about it? Are you worried? Okay, I was gonna say, are you worried about the back door? Is this the back door alert?
I love the back door. I love entering the back door.
Right. So, but no, Cleveland's the side here. Take Cleveland. We'll highlight it and we'll talk about it next week. I'm sure.
Oh, so I'm gonna highlight it. Okay.
Yes, and you're on Arizona. Yeah,
I'm
that
not
one.
Really on Arizona. I'm just not. I can't cover this many points with
You're a big Tune guy.
The Brownies. Yeah, Clayton.
Yeah.
Let's go, Clayton. All right, here we go. Washington at New England. I think New England is down to a 3. Everything's moving on us. A 3-point favorite. It was up to 3.5 earlier this week.
The difference an hour makes.
I know, right? 40.5 point total. Actually, up to 41. Boy.
Oh, wow.
Come on, statistician. Keep up with this stuff. So the D line for Washington was great at one time. He lost 2 first round picks back to back. Does it matter? Does New England get right? They looked a little better against Miami, and they obviously played very good against Buffalo. So I got to take New England or pass here. I mean, I don't know. You guys, Sam Howell, maybe he does it, but it's New England or pass. It's not in my top 5, but I can't back Washington. They're in sales mode.
Number one fantasy quarterback last week. You know who it was?
Is it Sam
It
Howell?
was Sam. Yep.
That was a leading question.
That is correct. So good job. Nice job. No, I like the over in this game.
Okay.
This is one of those over games
41.
I talked about. 3 or 4. I'm sprinkling that one. I love. Definitely take the over. I like the commies here. I think
Get this.
There
I don't even
is.
know you anymore.
I think this will be like one of the last games they do win of the season because I
It's
think
possible.
Ron Rivera is gonna.
He's done.
It's over. He's definitely out
Dead
of the
man
job,
walking.
unfortunately.
It's true.
The man has a family. Okay, can we?
He's made plenty of money in the NFL. He's a former Bear. I've always beloved he was on the Super Bowl team, but
yeah, he's interesting now. So just to like listen to his press conferences or something. But no, I do like the commies this way.
Did you say commodes?
Yeah, the commies. Yeah, the commodes, the commies. Eric Bieniemy's actually been calling good games against the Eagles. So hopefully he treats the Patriots like he treats the Eagles.
It's the only team they can score against, apparently, but we'll see. No, New England's defense isn't that great. I mean, they didn't do good against the best offense, but we'll see. All right, we're against each other again. Again, these are not like my look. When is Wegs gonna actually make a stand and make some good picks? I already picked Miami for y'all. Okay, get off my back. Anyway, let's go to the next one. We've got another humdinger. We've got my Bears going down into the Saints. Sorry, everybody. The Bears sucked. I mean, Badgett had that big play on the first play of the game, which should have probably been a touchdown, but they called him down and he wasn't down. But now they're 8.5-point dogs again on the road at New Orleans, 41-point total. Badgett's still starting. Look, hey, he's my guy. He's in Club Dub permanently, or at least for a while. He didn't play great.
Yeah.
He's a Division II quarterback. It's going to take some time. New Orleans looked great last week, scoring against a terrible defense in the Colts defense. But I don't know, bro. This is one of these games. These games suck. I can't pick any of these games. I cannot pick the Saints to cover 8.5 against anybody. I'm sorry, can't do it.
Against anyone.
I'll go with the Bears again plus 8.5.
Okay.
I know Badgett stinks. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
8.5, no way.
It's too bad they're not arm wrestling. The Bears would be favored in something. Yeah. Oh, the second thing I was going to mention, they should have had arm wrestling at the costume party that we were at. That'd have been a fun little activity.
That'd have been much more fun than the stupid bounce.
Yeah,
whatever
they were playing.
I'm terrible at.
No, we differ. I like New Orleans here. Yeah, I do.
Their
Alan
defense
Kamara
is
is going to eat this Bears linebacking core alive. Man, he's already got. He missed 3 games, and he's already, I think, second in the league in receptions for a running back. So I think they're getting it together. I picked this team to maybe fool around.
Didn't you say they were in the NFC at one time?
And they flirt with the 1 seed. Yeah, so they got to get going a little bit. I think this is a good spot for them. This is another get right. I think they're going to play well at home.
Okay.
The Dome's going to be rocking. I like the over again in this one too.
Wow.
So actually the Saints have been on an over streak. I don't know if you've noticed.
I know they were so under for the season and a half. Now they got to go over. Well, they also have been playing some pretty bad defense. So, the Bears, we'll see.
I can see Cole Kmet anytime touchdown score that game too.
Like it. All right, here we go. Tampa at Houston. Finally, Jimmy White's going to get on the board here. Houston
is he?
He is.
Wow.
2.5-point favorite for Houston at home. Look, they didn't play great coming out of the bye, which is understandable. Maybe there's a lot of tape out on Stroud now. Maybe it's a little bit undervalued. But what I'll say is Houston's defense still played very well, and I think they're going to play well in this one at home. I am on the home favorite for Houston. It's weird that they're favored now. I know your Tampa team, your Baker Mayfield, he's not getting it done. So Houston, 2.5 at home, got it on the top 5.
Oh, in the top 5.
Oh, yeah, they're in the top 5. Maybe with Houston.
Well, I've got this one, I think, in my top 5, too. I'm going with Tampa.
Look at you. We are.
This is our official side action loser leaves town game of the week.
Is it?
Why'd you say that? Sure. Houston's 3-4? Are both these teams 3 and 4?
They're 3 and 4. That sounds right. 3 and 4.
3 and 4. They're 3 and 3. One of the other. No, because they just got out of the bye. So but I think this is loser leaves town game. I think this is kind of like your playoff. If you're going to win this game, maybe make the playoffs. You're going to lose this game and probably tailspin into like 6 or 7 wins. So I think this is definitely the wake up call that Tampa needs. Hopefully, they're a little bit of an older roster, so I think the bye week actually helps them. No, the Bills did.
Oh, the Bills.
The Bills
missed that right up.
But no, I think this is like the now or never game for Tampa, in my opinion. So they're getting the points. I got them with 3, so now they're down to 2.5, which I don't love. I'd almost rather take Houston with that minus 2.5.
People are betting Tampa.
I like Tampa plus 3, and I think Tampa definitely gets off the schneid here.
Okay. Go for it. I can't do it. No way. Next one, Indianapolis at Carolina. Indy looked good on offense, terrible on defense in their game against the Saints. They are also, get this, look at this adjustment, a 2.5-point road favorite here. And then it's a 44-point total. Yes, 44-point total still. Look, I actually like Indy in this game. I'm sorry. I like Carolina in this game. I know that Carolina, we were on them last week because of whatever, thought the offense would be better, but Indy's defense is atrocious. So I think Bryce Young's going to have a great game this week. I would definitely put him in some sort of DFS situation. I know you look at this every week. He's going to throw at least 2 touchdown passes, if not 3.
Really?
This Colts defense is terrible. Now, can the Carolina stop the Indy offense? Not really sure. Not sure about that one. TBD, but I would definitely side with the home dog in Carolina.
I'm with you. I'm with Carolina. The problem I do see though is that Indianapolis has a above average height of defensive line. Like their defensive lineman height is like, yeah. So I could see if you could bet on the over under batted passes, I would definitely take the over. I think that could be a problem in this game. I'm with you. I like Carolina. I think they won last week. They maybe put a little, 2 games together. It's not a winning streak yet. That's 3. But no, I'm with you. I like the home here. I think the run game is going to be a big difference too. And I think, to your point, Carolina's defense is a little more serviceable. Frank Wright revenge game too.
Oh yeah, sure.
So I like that factor as well.
It should come into some kind of
play. He'll have a trick player too, I'm sure. On file for Indy. So I think that might be the difference. Jonathan Mingo sighting? Question mark. Is that who's going to be one of those 3 touchdown passes that year?
He'll get 1.
Yeah,
you
Jonathan
don't Thielen's
Mingo.
Get 1.
Okay, more than
Thielen anytime touchdown.
More than a Thielen.
Okay. More than a Thielen. Exactly. Hooked on a Thielen. Okay, so you've got Indianapolis. I'm sorry, the Giants at the Raiders. This is what I talked about. The dead cat bounce game. What does this mean? Do you know what this means? When you fire a coach, you go with that team because they're usually dogged. I can't believe they're still favored in this game, but you go with that team to bounce back to have a big game.
Oh, okay.
So it's the dead cat's dead. You put it on the ground. It bounces back up because the cat's actually still alive.
Gotcha.
For just a week or 2. I'm not going to go with the Raiders long run. They stink.
They stink.
No, they don't stink that bad. I think the offense has the makings of a decent offense, and I don't think the defense is that bad. So when you look at it, 2 points at home against the Giants, even with Daniel Jones, I did think I would check if you're betting this game, wait for this. Maybe it'll go down towards the Giants. In circuit, it is still 2 points. So we have to live with it. But I'm all over the Raiders in the dead cat house special of the week, -2 at home.
Wow. I'd be with you if Daniel Jones wasn't playing. But we all know Daniel Jones on the road is a different quarterback. He's totally different. He loves playing on the road.
He's amazing.
I got to ride. Even though I love my guy AOC, I got to ride with Danny Dimes this week. I think the heartbreaking loss that they had against the Jets. And I think the Vegas are they're a total tank. I think the learning curve with AOC is going to be treacherous, I think, to say the least. I like the over in this game, though, too. I think this is
it's a low total.
Yeah, 37.5. Yeah, I like the over here. I think you got competent quarterback play. But the wide receivers are so subpar in this game, though. I think there's going to be a big day. I think, but
do you think they'll be able to? The Giants will be able to stop the run without Williams?
Yes, I think they'll be all right. I think they'll be fine. I think the big difference in this game, I think, will Danny Dimes actually running the ball. Like his rushing total, I think, will be the difference in the game.
This is assuming our guy Max Crosby doesn't kill him on the first or second play.
Yeah,
the guy's amazing.
Yeah, well, they have Tommy DeVito. They've got the pride of Illinois on the bench.
That's just in case.
Yeah, just in case. So yeah, either way, I think the Giants are going to walk in there with a win because they are the road warriors.
Okay, we'll see. It's in my time.
They're feisty. They got the other road. They beat the Cardinals on the road. So
wow.
Yeah.
They came back from 28 points.
Even better. So
I think the Raiders are going to. First of all, the Raiders haven't scored more than 20 points all season. Yeah. This is the game. Their implied total is probably like 18 or 17, 19. Go over that total. They're going to score more points. They're going to open up the offense. It's going to be fun.
I think Devontae Adams just hammer everything. Just every.
Yeah, Adams is going to get the ball squeaky wheel game for sure. I think he's having an amazing game this week.
Okay.
No question. All right, so here we go. These are the actual big games of the week here. They all backloaded a little bit.
There's like 4. There's like 4 big ones.
Yeah, there's 4 big ones. The ones that Miami game was big, and then we got the last 2 of the night here. So we got Dallas at Philadelphia. This is still in the 4:00 window Eastern time. So you've got Philly's a 3-point favorite at home, 46-point total. That still holds up right now. 46.5 actually, so a little bit higher.
And Seattle-Baltimore game was the other big one.
Was that a big one to you?
Yeah, I mean, you get the NFC West leader against the NFC North leader.
6-point difference there.
That's one score. What are we talking about?
Every NFL game is one score. So
exactly. So what's your argument here?
My argument is not that big of a game. It's a bigger spread.
It's a battle of the birds. Come on, we got to see who is the superior. Yeah, exactly. Anyway.
All right, so this one is a battle of the birds and the boys, and you know what? I know it's on my metrics. I know it's how I feel about Dallas. I got crushed against the 49ers. I'm going again. They're dogs on the road. They're going to be ready to go. Obviously, they lit it up in Jerry Dome as they always do. The Eagles are really good. We all know this, but they still haven't performed that well. So if you're going to give me points, divisional road dog +3, take it all day. Dallas is my pick. Top 5.
I almost think Dallas might be like the Miami of the NFC.
Pretty much. Yeah.
When they go play bad teams, they just overwhelm them. When they play good teams, they're just like, oh, we have work to do. So Eagles all the way. Eagles hammer them at home. They're not losing
a lot of games to pick from.
Whether Jalen Hurts is all the way healthy, which I believe that he's not. I think there's definitely something wrong with him.
Yep.
Whether it's knee or ankle, I have no idea. I'm not a doctor. I am on Twitter though sometimes. So.
Dr. Grumpy. Dr. Grumpy.
I think that, obviously AJ Brown's going to have more than 125 yards. That's just a given at this point.
He's broken that streak.
And there's going to be so many ways to overwhelm Dallas's defense for Philadelphia that I think Philadelphia's front seven is going to overwhelm Dallas's offensive line. I think they're going to have trouble. I think when you rush Dak, I think Dak is just a different quarterback when he doesn't have a clean pocket to throw out of. And I think it's going to be a difference in the game, and it's going to be ugly, I think.
Wow.
This is going to be probably
another. You think they're going to blow them out?
I think it's going to be another, 10-point victory at least in prime time for a team facing Dallas. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Absolutely.
Totally disagree with you.
And no one hates Dallas more than Philadelphia. So
there's no question. There's no love lost there. But, this is the way I look at it. And granted, last year doesn't mean anything for this year, but the teams are pretty similar, right? Last year, they went on the road. Cooper Rush played very well in that game. They were in that game. That's with Cooper Rush, not Dak. I'm not saying Dak is great. He's better than Cooper Rush. Come on, dude. He's not better.
Maybe from a mobility standpoint, he might be.
Maybe.
And that's what you kind of need against Philly.
Yeah, I don't know. And then, obviously, we got the Minshew game last year where he was just hucking and chucking. But I don't know. I just like Dallas in the spot. We'll see if the metrics mean anything. They are the number 1 rated team in the Wegs Index, which means nothing. But we're a lot of times against each other. You get a lot of games to pick from here. In the Sunday night window, you've got Buffalo going to Cincinnati. This game is actually down to a 2-point favorite for Cincinnati. I think it's 2 in the contest too. 48.5. It's actually up to 49.5-point total. Look, I get they got Rasul, whatever his name is. He's pretty good. I think Cincinnati all the way here. I'm all the way on Cincinnati. Not necessarily every single game, because there's going to be situations when they shouldn't be favored. But at home against Buffalo's defense that seems compromised still, they're not going to be able to stop the pass game. And I think more importantly, the defense, you got to be able to run this ball against Cincinnati. They stop the run pretty well. Buffalo doesn't run the ball ever. They're just going to pass every time. Hendrickson and the crew is going to take care of business. 2 points is kind of light to me, so I'll take Cincinnati at home.
Again, is this a must-win for Buffalo or a can't lose for Cincinnati, what you say?
Oh, boy. Both teams need to win the game. So you said must win for Buffalo.
Or a can't lose for Cincinnati.
Can't lose for Cincinnati. Well, obviously Cincinnati's in a tougher division. They are actually still in 4th place in the division. I don't know if you knew this.
Yeah, which is crazy.
At 4-3. So it's really a can't lose for Cincinnati, I guess.
Because they're 0-2 in their own division, right?
Right. Yeah. It's not in division, but. And then Buffalo, could they still win? Or there's a must win? They won last week, right? They got the must win last week. They needed to win that one. This one isn't a must win. And I also think, I don't know, it's a weird game. Remember last year was the DeMar Hamlin game where he got injured.
Yeah, this is the New Year's Day game, I think, is when that happened.
Yeah, and it was one of those situations. The game didn't even get wiped off the slate. So Cincinnati, I think,
had a chance at the 1 seed.
It did, and then Cincinnati went up and punched him in the mouth. So it is a revenge game for Buffalo. I just don't think they have it in them. I don't think they have a running game, and I don't think they have the defense to stop them. So,
well, Trey Hendrickson is questionable. Well, he's not questionable, but I guess he hasn't really been practicing. Yeah, so I like Buffalo here. I I know. I love the jungle, and I love my guys in Cincy. You know, but,
you wore the Cincinnati jersey.
Yeah, I completely agree. I'll probably wear it again at some point, I'm sure. But no, I like Buffalo this week. I think they've been playing really well. They've got Gabe Davis involved. I think they actually can run the ball against Cincinnati this time. James, they have a true number one back, I think, in James Cook, even though they keep adding other running backs, which makes no sense to me. But I almost think Josh Allen is he's almost more efficient with the three wide receiver personnel that they run more.
Oh, I'm sure he is.
With Dawson Knox being out. So that was like the big difference in Dayball's system was they ran a lot of three wide receivers, and he really flourished that. And now they're kind of obviously forced to do that with the injuries. So I think that's going to really help them and match up with Cincinnati from defensive personnel too. So,
okay, wow. Going opposite every time. Well, how about this last game? We got Monday Night Football here. We got the Chargers and the Jets.
This is going to be
the Jets are at home, 3.5-point favorites. Obviously, you've got riding high. You know, the Chargers took care of the Bears pretty easily in that one. We're going to play at the Jets. You still have Wilson at the helm there, and the money is going towards the Chargers. So it's 3.5. So it's a key number. It's over the key number, 40-point total. So maybe a messed up game. You know, I didn't put them in the top 5. I had them there at one time, but I got to take the Jets 3.5 at home. Yeah. Give me a break. I mean, I can't. The Chargers, look, they finally covered a number last week. Congratulations, you're paying. Maybe Wilson's not better than Badgett, but I don't know, dude. That defense is playing nasty and doing what they need to do. I know they probably shouldn't have won last week, but this team's tough, and they're right in the mix for the playoffs. So, you know, I'm on the Jets plus 3.5.
Yeah, I'm with you at that number. I love the 3.5. I can't if I can bet on the Chargers to not go across the country and Charger it away. Like they will find a way to lose this game. You know, Staley will go for it on 4th and 22 from like his own 22 or some crazy, craziness. So I'm with you on the Jets at plus 3.5. To your point, the defense has played well in prime time, especially. You know, they beat the Bills in prime time this year. Obviously, they got shellacked by Dallas. That was luckily a 4:00 window. So, but no, I guess they've played well in prime time. Zach Wilson has been serviceable the last 4 games. I think he's thrown 4 touchdowns and maybe 2 picks. So he's turning the ball over less. He's not costing them the game. So to your point, I think that defense can make a play or two and keep them alive. Do you think Aaron Rodgers hinting at coming back? Yeah. Do you think that motivates the defense? Because at some point the defense is going to get so tired. We're going to roll around to week 13 and someone's going to just embarrass this Jets defense because they're so wore out.
So I saw a crazy prop, man. I saw, not prop, but the future. I mean, Jets plus 3,000 win the AFC. Hey, they make the playoffs and get Rodgers back. You never know.
You never know.
I mean, AFC is not as loaded as we thought it was going to be, I think. There's been a lot of injuries.
I just don't think there's as much parity. It's the team, the team with the better quarterback is more likely going to be in that slot.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the thing.
Yeah. Okay, so you're on the Jets. We actually agree on one game.
Yeah, I'll agree with you there. That's fine.
Let's go.
They got nice green helmets. That's what we'll go with.
The color. I love the Charger helmet. All right, so here we go. My top 5. We'll start off. We got Miami plus 1.5 in Frankfurt. Houston minus 2.5 at home. We've got Dallas plus 3 against Philly. Cincinnati on the short favorite minus 2 against the Bills. And the dead cat bounce game, the Raiders minus 2 at home against the Giants. What is your top 4 this week?
For the Beaver Nation, we're going with Seattle plus 6. We're going to take Philly minus the 3. We're also going to take Atlanta and spot you the 4 points. And then we're going to ride with Tampa at plus 2.5.
Nice. So obviously you like Mike. I obviously like that Atlanta pick, but we're against each other in the Tampa game. That's the Houston. That's head to head, and Philly Dallas head to head. So Seattle, that was just a pass game for me. So good. So I'm gonna go to the casino, guys.
I'm gonna do it.
People who are night range. I'm probably gonna go Friday evening or afternoon. If you're gonna go, please text me. If you're ever gonna go to the Wegs is going to the casino. He's going. Text me, guys. I will meet you somewhere, and we can roll the bones. We can all make some money. So I'll probably go tomorrow late afternoon, early evening. Don't have any plans tomorrow evening. We got to check with Luke to see if he's feeling better. He found the emergency plan like I told him to do with the vitamin C. And then you're headed to Vegas.
Yeah, we're going to Vegas for James's 60th birthday. So that'll be fun. Hopefully we'll roll some bones with our Irv and
the Swerve
and a handful of others. So I think there's 17 people that I think we're going on the
Yeah.
Facebook invite, so that's pretty good. So it should be a good time. I think we're going to Circus Soleil one night, which I've never seen.
Yeah,
so that
that's
would be fun.
Saturday night. Yeah.
Yeah, man. You're not going, but you know the itinerary?
I do.
What is this?
Callie and I talked about it because I was toying with the idea of flying out there just for one night, and not that this was the factor, but you guys already got the ticket to Cirque du Soleil. I'm like, so I'm going to fly out there, go see Cirque du Soleil. I would have gone to Circa on Sunday, but I'm like, I don't know. Then I got to buy that ticket. I'm like, she's like, you're not going to go to your friend's birthday at Cirque du Soleil. I'm like, I'm spending like $1,000 to fly out there.
Yeah.
Like back for one night. I'm not going to do
So
that.
we're not like in St. Louis or something.
Yeah. I decided to pass. I'm going to Belgium.
Yeah, but the weather will be in the 70s, so that'll be nice. And I'll get to see stadium swim, so that'll be cool. And yeah, we take the red eye. I have the red eye back Monday, so we can have bowling Tuesday.
Yeah, you can't miss bowling. You guys are red hot.
Yeah, we're hot.
Yeah.
Hotter than a fox in the forest fire. Real hot.
Yeah. So I'm gonna put you on the spot a little bit. We didn't talk about this before the pod. This is bad planning on my part. Couldn't get action to join you next week for the podcast. So what do you feel about the pod? Do you feel like you want to do it solo? You could have a guest star in my spot to do it, or we could pass a week. So what would you like to do? The listeners are listening.
Yeah, I was gonna say we don't want to rob the listeners, so I feel like we should
course.
definitely have a weekly pod.
Okay.
As far as if it'll be solo or not, we can definitely figure that out.
Okay, you tell me. I can walk you through some things. You know how to get to the YouTube, but we'll figure that out. So we will have a podcast next week. I can send you my pics and stuff. I'm going to be in Belgium visiting my kid, flying on Wednesday night, get in Thursday. I don't even know what time it's going to be, where it's going to be 7 hours or something different. I don't know how I'm going to do that, like midnight pod over there. It's going to be a lot to juggle. So I'm just going to, hey, Jimmy Wegs, stay away situation. So we'll let Dalton carry the side action. Maybe these guys can log in some questions or something, or pop in with you and say hello, and so you can.
Yeah, you're 6 hours ahead in Belgium.
6 hours, yeah. So it'd probably be like 11-ish. I don't know. The internet's going to be. It's a lot of factors. You know what I'm saying? So you got this.
There's a lot of women in Belgium. It could be distracted. Yeah. You never know.
Well, I know I'll be distracted.
Well, you're going to have father-daughter time. I mean,
with my mom too.
Yeah.
Great to pick up chicks with your mom.
No, I mean, come on, Mom Wegs, come on.
Mama Wegs would be a great wing woman.
Yeah, I trust. It's in the name.
She'd just be Jimmy.
Jimmy.
She's too young.
Oh, it's not James.
Oh no, only when I was a kid, she would yell at me, James Edward Weglars, right?
Right.
But now it's like Jimmy.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Jimmy.
There's 6 callers ahead of us.
Isn't she too young for you?
Oh, okay.
I'm like, they're all younger than me, Mom.
Wow. Father Time's undefeated, you know. Never loses.
All right, well, check us out next week, and obviously help out with the new comments as we're doing the live stream. Whatever time, maybe you can post when you're going to do it to help you out.
Yeah, tell your friends.
Follow us at Side Action Pod on Twitter and Side Action Podcast on Instagram. Follow me at Wegspool in on Instagram.
And you can check me out on Instagram at Dalton Cooper, on Twitter at Mr. Crumpy Heels. We are the Side Action Podcast. Thanks for listening. Hope to catch you next week. Other than that, happy gambling.
Happy gambling.
Yeah. Woo. Degeneracy.